In this module, we're going to learn about processing an SPSS request. In a previous module, you learned about credentialing the software request. So we're not going to cover that material. But let's go ahead and let's go down and let's discover how many copies of the software the individual is requesting. And if we go down, we look under Windows, and we see they've requested one copy of the software. They've not requested any under Mac and none under Linux. So we can tell they're only wanting one version of the Windows software for SPSS. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to NetID or the IDM software, and we're going to capture their email address simply by highlighting the email address, right-clicking on it, and clicking copy. Then, remember we've discussed Move It. I'm going to go up to the next tab. I'm going to go to Move It. I'm going to click on Packages. I'm going to go to Templates. Then in Move It, I'm going to scroll down until I find SPSS. There's going to be several SPSS packages that I can locate. I can see there's an SPSS license server, SPSS for Linux, SPSS for Mac, and then finally a simple SPSS. I'm going to send this individual the simple SPSS right here, because that is the Windows version. So let me clear all that away. So I click on that link. It will open up the template. I click Edit. This particular package is large, so while that is opening up to edit, I'm going to go to a new tab, and this is the SPSS licensing tab. While I'm here, I'm going to click on this first license. I'm going to click on Edit. Brings up a new dialog here. I'm going to be concerned with filling in a download date, an email address, the ticket number, okay, and then eventually I'm going to copy the authorization code. So to start with, the download date, I simply click on the calendar button off to the right, and it brings up a calendar. I click on the date that's highlighted, which is today's date. That is the date that I'm sending the software to the individual. Then I go to the email field, and if I click on that field and I right click, I can choose paste. It will put the individual's email address in there. And then notice it's hard for me to see, but if I scroll over or drag my screen over, I can then see the ticket number, and I can type in the ticket 70513. Now I'm going to pause a second, and I'm going to go back to Move It, and notice how Move It has now gone to the edit mode. I can tell it's the edit mode because I can see the information. Notice how the to field is blank. I have space where I can put in my service request number, and I see the name field. I can edit it now. So I'm going to go to the to field. I'm going to click my cursor, right click, and choose paste. So now I have my individual's email address in there. I'm going to click on check recipients. It puts the individual's name in there, so I know that it's a valid email address. The SIU email system recognizes it, so I'm good. Now I'm going to go back up to the SPSS license tab, and I'm going to highlight the authorization code. Once I highlight that code, I'm going to right click it, choose copy. This time I'm going to go to Share Well. I'm going to click on Share Well, and I'm going to go down to New Journal. Notice right down here, New Journal Note. I'm going to click on that. Once I click on New Journal Note, well, now that's difficult to see, isn't it? So I'm going to click and drag up. Notice I clicked on that bar, drag it up to where I can see. I click in Details. As soon as I click in Details, notice the cursor's in there. I right click and I'm going to paste. It puts the code in there. But what I needed to really do is in front of that, I needed to type auth code : so notice it's auth code : a space, then it's the code that I copied from the SPSS license table. That's all I have to do there for now. Then I'm going to go back to the SPSS table. I'm going to click Save. Then I'm going to go back to Move It. And Move It, I'm going to scroll down and notice there's two sets of X's, and I'm going to locate this first set underneath when prompted, enter your authorization code. And I'm going to select those X's, and then I'm going to do a Control V to paste in the authorization code. Then I'm going to go down to the second set of X's, double click on them, and I'm going to type in my name to personalize this so the individual knows who is sending it. Again, notice it's my first name and last name. Excuse me. Scroll back up. I'm going to replace the name now at the very top with the individual's first name, so I personalize it. Scroll down. I'm going to verify that how many copies of the file am I sending? I'm sending one this time because that's how many they requested. If they requested 2 copies, I would put a 2 there. If they requested 3, I would put 3. Because this is a student and it's for the personal use, I would max out at 3. If it's for a faculty or a staff member and they requested 4 for a department or a lab use, I would put 4. If it was for a personal use, I would max out at 3. Then the next thing I would notice or verify is, does it say 14 days? If it does not say 14 days, I would change it to 14 days. Once I've verified that, I would again scroll back up, double check my work. Does it have the person's name? Notice I've caught myself in a mistake. What did I not put right here? I did not put the service request number. Good thing I double checked my work. So I click in here, space after the SR, type in 0513. Now let's continue on, so double checking my work. There's the individual's first name. That's good. Scroll down. The number of copies of software and 14 days. Once I verified everything is correct, then I can click on Send. Once the software has been sent, I go back to Sharewell. In Sharewell, again, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on Begin Work. Remember, when I begin work, it's going to make sure It's going to assign the ticket to me. Then I resolve the ticket. I'm simply going to say request approved for student software sent via MoveIt. Then I click OK. Now this request has been resolved. My work is complete. It's now up to the student to download and install the software. Again, if they have any problems, they may contact us through email, they may call the call center, or they may contact the service center in Morris Library.